What's up, y'all? I'm Ethan.
Hey, man, this Dwayne, man.
How you doing, everybody? My name's Gabriel.
And of course, your host, Andrew.
Yeah, we gotta have conversations like this more often.
We do. We really do.
This is better than therapy to me. This is better than therapy. Yeah.
This is therapy.
I think a lot of it stems from kind of just a difference in emphasis on what like men versus women value about themselves. So I noticed like a lot of women tend to define their worth and their value off of like the physical appearance. Even just the other day, I was watching something like all these women in the video were talking about how, oh yeah, you know, they wanted to watch this and that and the other about their weight and this and that the other. And I feel like a lot of times with men, with dudes, it's not necessarily like, yeah, you know, you want to look good as a guy, but I'm not basing the entire trajectory of my life. I feel like you hear so much more about women saying, oh yeah, you know, I get on the scale every day. I need to make sure that, you know, the weight's not creeping on. I've never heard a guy say that, you know. And most men, like, you're generally aware of how much you weigh, but you don't really care that much unless you're doing like bodybuilding or something like that.
Unless like it's like a health concern, like your doctor saying you need to lose 15 pounds. Like, okay, like I'll do that.
I think from the women's perspective, what they see on social media.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
So like what they're seeing on social media, they feel as though
women are constantly told that they're not beautiful.
Exactly.
They're indirectly constantly told that if you don't look like this, and it sucks because in the female fashion industry, there is no ideal standard of beauty. In some places, it's the thicker you are, the more beautiful you are. But in other places, it's you're too thick, so now you're overweight. And some places it's, oh, we like larger women. In other places, it's we like skinnier women. In some places, it's we like girls with curly hair. And so now you have girls who are relaxing their hair, trying to figure it. And then other places, it's we like black afros. And so it's like women can't catch a break. But then on the flip side, men are held to such a higher standard aesthetically, in my opinion.
What do you mean aesthetically?
Let me explain, because I feel like that's a really hot take. There are men who like, and I don't know if this is the same for women, this is just what I've seen. There are men who like skinny women, there are men who like thick women. There are men who like large women, there are men who like skinnier women. That at the end of the day, there is a man, I've met men who have liked every kind of woman.
Yeah, so
I've met men who have like, they said, I want to be with a large woman. Like I've met men who have said that. I've met men who have said, I want to be with an athlete. I like women skinny. I like them like this. However, when it comes to men, it's almost always if you're not athletic or if you're not
chiseled
lean, or if you're not lean, then you're just not attractive. To the point where if you're over a certain type of body weight and you're a guy and you have a girl, the default is he must be really funny or he must have a great personality. But it's never she's just attracted to him. And so it's like as a guy, or even like I was talking to one of my friends about this other day, like if you go out into the store and you look at female models and mannequins, you see women in all shapes and sizes. But when you look at the men, it's always these men with these chiseled legs in that same pose with their abs and their chest, you know, sticking out and the arms, the V-taper, and you can always see the vein going up their bicep in the model. The whole body issue is something that both people deal with. And I feel like because you don't want to minimize the fact that women deal with constant judgment, not only from other women, but from men.
Yeah.
But I think it's also really important to recognize the fact that oftentimes there's only one perceived image of what masculinity and attraction looks like in a guy.
But do you think guys care as much as women do?
Absolutely not.
Well, I would say most people don't even vocalize it, but subconsciously they do care.
Because I feel like a lot of times, especially like in today's climate, like most guys are told like, oh yeah, you can't care too much. And like if you care too much, that's not really attractive. That's not really that. And so I feel like a lot of guys are told to kind of play everything off a little nonchalantly. And then, you know, with women, it's like, oh yeah, you know, embrace your feelings. A lot of times people have tried to say to men, oh yeah, you know, it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to do this, it's okay to do that. And then you open up and it's like, whoa, I didn't need to know this, I didn't need to know that. I mean, keep it to yourself, man, you know. And so I feel like that plays a huge role in it to a certain extent. And I feel like women, like female society as a whole as well, also plays a huge role into it. because women constantly compare themselves to other women. Oh yeah, you know, this person's doing this person's doing that, this person's here, this person's there, yada yada yada. Not that competition is a bad thing, but it can get unhealthy when I'm saying, oh yeah, so and so looks that way, and I want to, like, I could say, Dwayne, you look great, I'm trying to get like you. But then everybody is not made necessarily the same way.
Exactly.
You know, I physically might not be able to be like Dwayne, especially when it comes to like makeup and all this other stuff, like all these other cosmetic changes women can make. There's become such a much less emphasis placed on, I don't know how to say it, like, I don't want to say loving yourself, but there's this less emphasis on like embracing who you are, and more emphasis
how you came
placed.
into the world.
Exactly.
Can I say something wrong?
Yeah, go ahead.
People are gonna say some weird stuff when I say this, but I think you, like, Bear is perfect. Okay, so like for a little while,
Bro, I would read.
for a little while, I think like 2019, I was really into jewelry. So I got like a little thumb ring, and like this little like necklace that was like really thin. Like it was funny. My friends would make fun of me, like, yeah, a little string in her neck. I was like, whatever. But I look back in pictures, and I'm like, if I took that off, I honestly think I look better. But during that time frame, I'm like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I look so freaking good, so amazing. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, you even look better without your glasses on. Like, it's so much more to you when you have like just the bare like thing, like how you came out the womb. Honestly, you didn't come out with all this extra stuff bedazzling you. Like, take it off to see what you look like without it. Not to say that it's not adding more. If I would say you're adding even more value to yourself without that. By putting more stuff on, I feel like you're covering up the natural beauty that emanates from your very presence. So I'm like, you don't even need it.
Something that like I always think about, and like I just recently found out what's makeup.
What's makeup?
What is in it? Like what constitutes makeup?
Yeah.
And it's some of the most disgusting stuff I've ever heard of. And so in my head I was like, you know, your skin absorbs stuff. So you're putting this stuff on your skin and your skin's absorbing it, and it's not good for you. So eventually you're building this dependence on this thing to look good. Here's an example.
Yeah.
If you start to wear glasses every single day, after a while, once you take them off, you're gonna look weird without them. But after a while, people are gonna start to get used to it. It's like if you get a new haircut. At first, everyone's gonna say, bro, it looks so weird, it looks so bad. But then after a while, you get used to it. And I think the problem with our society, and this isn't even a woman thing, because men are a victim of this too, is because of social media, and social media is good, don't get me wrong, it has great attributes, but because of social media, I feel like we've gotten so used to seeing these men and women that are like filtered online, where their skin is without blemish, their body is perfectly symmetrical, their hair is perfectly curled, and you don't realize that what you're seeing isn't true. Or if it is, it's really like a moment in time where this person is probably looking the best the best they can possibly look, but it's not how they look normally. As people, like, we get so caught up in like looking like that all the time, and we don't realize that that's not normal. Some days I'm gonna go out and my face might be breaking out, and that's the reality. We have skin breaks out. Some days you might go out and your hair might not be looking the best. That's the reality of life. It may not look the best. But I've always said, and I've told my dad this ever since I was a young kid, I don't like makeup. And I don't think that should affect the way women use it, because I'm not the type of guy that believes, oh, because I don't like it, you should stop wearing it. Like, this is just my preference. And that's another thing too. Like all of us here, we're talking and we all are sharing our preferences. And I think it's really important to understand that we don't believe that in any way what we think should change or shape how you live your life. Or how anyone lives their life. Yeah, we're just sharing our opinions. And my opinion is, I prefer natural beauty. Like, I think people look beautiful when they are just themselves. And it's also because in my family, like, makeup's never really been a thing. My mom doesn't really wear makeup.
Same.
My grandma doesn't really, neither of my grandmothers really wore makeup. My aunt never really wore makeup. Like, it just has never been a big thing. And I don't know if it's because we're West Indian or whatever, but it's like, it's just never been like a really, like, you have to wear makeup to look good. It's like my mom would wake up, she'd wash her face, she'd do her hair,
put some lotion on,
and that was it. Yeah. So I always grew up thinking, like, this is the normal vibe. Like, you wake up, you wash your face, you do your skincare routine, and you go. So, you know, fast forward 7-8 years, I'm in college, experiencing the real world, and I realized that some women don't leave their room without their face. The hair isn't real, the eyes aren't real, the eyebrows aren't real, the eyelashes aren't real. like nothing. And I'm not saying, bro, like I don't want to sound like I'm joning on anybody. It gets to a point where you're just like,
Is it even you?
yeah.
If you were to take all that stuff off and walk out the dorm, would I know if that's you walking around on campus?
But I also want to add, you shouldn't do it to cover up who you are.
Yeah.
Now,
That is so-
if you're doing it
like to enhance.
exactly, if don't do it to enhance. Don't do it to oh, I don't like how I look, so that's why I'm gonna do it. Don't make that be your reason.
Yeah.
Do it because you actually want to do it. So when it comes to makeup, I'll use an example as if you want to grow your hair out. You're not changing yourself because you're growing your hair out. You're not changing yourself because I want to work out now. I want to get abs. I'm not changing myself. I feel that's the same thing when it comes to tattoos and getting your ears pierced or wearing jewelry or something like that. If you actually are wanting to do it, not to enhance yourself, but just genuinely because you like it and this is something like you want to do.
Yeah.
Not because I need something. Don't do it because you don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Don't do it because you feel I need to enhance myself. No, do it because you actually genuinely want to do it.
And I think from the Christian perspective as well, like it kind of like a lot of times we talk about, idols and stuff like that. And idols is such a broad category and topic, but we don't think about how like we could be our own idols.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like, I've met people who are like, oh yeah, I can't go outside without this. I can't go outside without that. I understand looking presentable when you go outside. I completely agree. Like, don't go outside looking hot
like
mess.
you rolled out of bed.
Yeah, like you rolled out of bed. Like look presentable, look decent. Because like first impressions are everything. Like you want to like present yourself as someone who's put together. But at the same time, I would say sometimes like it's okay. Like if maybe one day it's just not the best day for you.
Yeah.
Like,
some things you just can't control.
Exactly, like Gabe said, maybe one day you could wake up, there's a little bit of acne there. I mean, it's natural, happens to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I feel like a lot of times we kind of make it seem like one day is the sum of all of our experiences. So like just because I don't look stunning today means that suddenly like
The world is ending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The world is ending and my like experience as a person plummets. And I feel like it's not just like women that experience that. Sometimes I feel like it's men too. Like with women, a lot of it is makeup. But then I feel like, both you and Dwayne touched on it was men. Sometimes it could be like jewelry, and other stuff like that.
Even the gym.
Yeah, even the gym and stuff like that.
Oh, bro, we don't even talk about the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I feel like even like wanting to better yourself, like you can get to a point where it's like it overtakes its original purpose and it kind of grows out of that.
I feel like like what you said was so key. There's such a fine line between wanting to be better and then just not liking who you are. And I think that like it's very important to know where the distinction is in that line for you, because for everyone it's different.